Halt. You want to be careful with being hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Why? Because if you go through those emotions, you might get weak emotionally, and that may cause you to make the wrong decision. So, for example, halt, hungry. You want to try to eat 3 meals a day for a few reasons. I'll tell you mine. If I don't eat, I get cranky, I get grumpy, I get hangry, right? I'm like a baby. If babies don't eat, they cry. Me too. Here's an example. The other day, I was talking with some friends, and I was like, I'm the kind of person that if you say that we're going to a restaurant, I eat before we go to the restaurant. Why? Because that way, I'm in a better mood. And if for some reason the waiter or waitress is taking forever, I'll be all right about it. If we have to wait for our table, no worries. I'll be in a better emotional state. So eat 3 meals a day, ideally nutritious. If at the beginning you're eating a lot of chocolate or a lot of candy, that's okay. That's okay if you gain a little bit of weight. No worries. First things first. But ideally eat nutritious food, okay? To replenish your organs, to heal, right? To recover, right? So halt, right? Angry. Try not to get angry, especially at the beginning of this journey. Anger is something that a lot of us don't have the luxury of getting, right? Because if we get angry, if I get angry, then I get resentful. If I get resentful, then I feel bad. If I feel badly, then I may want to feel good, and it might make me into making the wrong decision. So I try not to feel angry. If I'm ever having a conversation with someone and things are not going the best way, I may be like, listen, let's talk about this later because I don't think we're going anywhere right now. And it doesn't work all the time, but that's the idea. Hungry, angry, lonely. Lonely, try not to be lonely. A great way to not be lonely every single day is by going to meetings. 1 meeting, 2, 3 meetings, as many as you need. Because a lot of people, their nature is to isolate. So if that's yours, it tends to be mine. I have to force myself to go to meetings. I have to force myself to fellowship. I have to force myself to all these things that are against my nature in order to not feel lonely. And tired, try to sleep. Sleeping is great because we did a halt, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. For instance, last night I slept for like 10 hours, maybe 12. And you know what? I felt amazing when I woke up. Well, of course, right? It goes to show that if I don't sleep enough hours, sure, I wake up early, yay. The early bird gets to worm, but if the bird is angry and depressed and anxious and cranky, then he's not gonna get any worms. He's gonna get in trouble. So try to set your schedule so that you can sleep at least 6 to 8 hours a day, and keep an eye on that. If you're working a lot, know that it might be a good idea to take it easy, at least at the beginning of your journey, because if you get too tired, then you might be like, this is not working for me. You might make the wrong decision that might end up making you make even worse decisions. So that's a deal with halt.